Proverbs 22, verse 5, it says, thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. So thorns and snares, I mean, if we think of agriculture, you know, weeds and traps are in the way of the froward. The people that are not lining up with how God does things. Or froward is perverse. So the people that deal with traps and craziness, thorns are weeds, but with a cut to them, with an edge to them. So when you have people in your life and you're constantly getting cut and you're going through different changes, and there's snares, it seems like you're always being trapped. A snare is a trap. You're always trapped. It says the scripture says that's in the place, in the path of the people that's perverse or twisted or wicked or out of the path that God designed. So he's saying there's no thorns and snares in his way or his path. Look, and then behind the colon it says, he that does keep his soul shall be far from them. So we said, through patience you possess your soul. Why would I get off track? Why would I not go in the place that God has designed? Why would I rush into something that I'm not ready for? See, because I would have to get pulled out of place. Be impatient, right? We talked about childishness earlier. That's the thing. Whether you're 60, 40, 50, 20, 15, whatever your age is, the childish individual is an impatient individual. You think about children have no patience. They can't wait for nothing. They want everything right now. And so what they'll do is they want it before they're prepared to handle it. And sometimes as adults, we want to operate in things that we're not prepared to handle yet. And he says, if you keep your soul through patience, we talked about that in Luke 21:19, you'll be far from some of the thorns and the snares that we've all dealt with in our lives. And then Proverbs 9, verse 6 says this, forsake the foolish and live. So forsake the foolish and live. Look, and go in the way of understanding. So this is good because there's I read Hebrews 4:4 and 5. It says, and he spake in a certain place on the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in verse 5 it says, and in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest. So here there's a certain place we need to be to even hear from God. Not just we talked about a certain place in life, a certain place in God, a certain place in life, and a certain location. You know, just like having a place every day in your house or where you stay. When we first got married, I just had a couch. So I went to that couch every day. Then I created a little room in the back that I called my study. Then we moved into the next house and I had a study. And then of course I have a study now. But I started with just every day I wore that couch out to the right-hand side of that couch. But that was my place to meet God every day. Because there's always a certain place. But there's a certain place I also had to be in my mind where I can hear from God. And that's Hebrews 4. Because even the disciples, he sent them to the upper room. He said, tarry here, tarry in Jerusalem, in the upper room, and you shall be indwelled with power. So there was a certain place that he wanted to meet them and give them power. It's Acts chapter 1. And then I'll give you these scriptures right now. Even in Luke 17:19, he told the gentleman, he said, arise, go thy way, thy faith has made thee whole. Go thy way. We talked about the other week in James chapter 1. It says to be a hearer of the word, but not a doer of the word, is a person that goes his way and forget what manner of man he was. So when we spend time with God, God's trying to get us to the place where we see ourselves in line with his design. And see, so when we get to that place, we're tempted to walk out of the presence of God and go our way, not the way that he's showing us. So when we hear from God, God is saying, okay, this is the way you go. that's going to lead to fulfillment. And then you get out of his presence, you might get a phone call, you may talk to somebody, you may get in a certain environment, and you're tempted to go your way. You're tempted to go outside of God's design, right on that path that was leading to destruction. The scripture says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death. Let's go there. It's Proverbs 14, I think. Proverbs. No, it's 14 and it's 16. Proverbs 16:2 is all the ways of man is clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth his spirit. But that's not the scripture I was looking for. Proverbs 14:12. It says, there's a way that seemeth right unto man. There's a way that seemeth right. We talked about the reality and the truth, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So look at this way. Look at this. The scripture says there's a way. So it has one way that we go that seems right to a man. And it says, but the end thereof are ways of death. So you can choose one road and end up with many different paths to death. Look, verse 14, it says, the backslider in his heart shall be filled with his own ways. And look, it just says, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. See, we talked about the other week, lean out to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. All your ways, all your paths, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. All your ways, all the ways you're considering going. Acknowledge him, and he'll direct you to the right way. And let's see what we can add. Next week, I want to go this week. Proverbs. Oh, this is good. Proverbs 16:7. Because I want to talk about the kingdom of God next week. So, Proverbs 16. Let's just say Proverbs 16:7. It says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. When a man's ways please the Lord. And then verse 17 it says, the highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. So we protect our soul, we protect our choices, we protect our design when we keep his way. So we spend so much time talking about, I use so many different scriptures just to show, I mean, there's so many scriptures to show there's a certain path, there's a certain way, and there's a certain mindset, a certain way we have to think to stay on that path. And we went through Luke 21:19, through patience you possess your soul. We talked about just not being so childish, selfish, that we can't even see our way to lining up with God's path. But God has a particular plan and purpose for us, and the only way we embrace that is to be renewed in the spirit of our mind, to make sure that we're patient enough, we possess our soul, God can use our choices that we're making as lining up with Him. So we don't want to spend so much time. See, when we choose all these different ways, only way you'll go down the path opposite of God is somebody has to give you a spiritual bribe. Somebody has to bribe you to and offer you something that's going to give you some type of benefit or profit or, these days, pleasure. And that's the only way you'll take a choice that's outside of God's will. And what God is saying is, it's not a profit if you're going to lose your soul. It's not even, so he's saying that, I mean, measure everything that it costs, not just, don't sell out for this moment of pleasure at the expense of everything that you dream for a purpose. A lot of us that are older, we made some of those choices, and then we made some of those choices thinking that we was going to get some. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Then you cross the bridge, you end up getting to the bridge, and you're like, man, why did I make this decision? I wish I wouldn't have done that. My son used to tell me this. He was like, well, Dad, you went through your stuff, let me go through mine. That was my son's favorite line. And so, he was talking to me, so I said, cool. I said, no problem. I said, so go through your stuff, not mine. So my son said, what? You went through your stuff, let me go through mine. I was like, cool, go through yours. Why are you going through my stuff then? Why would you have to go through the same stuff I went through? Why don't you get your own stuff? Why are you trying to go through mine? And he was like, okay. I said, so when I'm telling you what I went through, not to stop you from having your own experiences, I'm telling you, that's like Jesus died on the cross. He died on the cross so we wouldn't have to. It wouldn't make sense for me to you guys came in today and I'm nailed up on the cross. Jesus did that already. So I wouldn't have to. So why would I have to go through what Jesus, they spit at him, they broke his bones, they put a thorn, they was beating him with a whip that had hooks to it. So every time they slapped him, they ripped meat out of his back. Oh, so I'm going, no. Thanks, Jesus. Everybody got their grace. All right, so what I used to tell my son is, okay, I traveled a path, and some of the paths I chose was the wrong path. So you may choose some wrong paths, but guess what? I can narrow down the paths you choose by you not choosing mine. That's the difference. So that line, you went to your dirt, now you're going to try to tell me, no. I'm just trying to tell you don't go through my stuff. Because my son has done things I've never done. Never will. but I'm not as bothered by those. I'm more bothered when you don't want to benefit from me learning some lessons of the choices that I made, if that makes sense. So God is trying to steer us on a particular path to purpose. That's what the goal is. That's what God is trying to do with all of us.
Man, I can't wait to see